Welcome back, Pisces. This is your broadcast for the week of April 14th through the 20th, and I'll even include a little bit for Saturday the 13th. This is for my horoscope honeys and heathens or whatnot. For those of you interested in the transits and how that could affect you as a Pisces and or your environment, we're going to get started because it's a lot. And I will try not to repeat myself, but some of the transits are consistent and I'm going day by day. So today on the 13th, Venus, positive short-term aspect, excellent time for love and your social life. If you haven't already met that special someone, you may meet your lover during this period. Otherwise, you are more attractive right now. You turn more heads than usual. Gifts might come. It's generally a good time for making purchases, recognizing the value of things, seeing eye to eye with others, and sharing decorative and artistic work. There's an opposition with Jupiter and Mars, however, challenging longer-term aspect. This can be a time when you act out of proportion or excessively in some manner. Watch for arrogance and a clouded vision. You may take more than you can handle in the weeks of this transit. Lack of forethought and not enough prudence could lead to problems or setbacks. Success and progress can be had during this transit, but only if you are moderate, avoiding unnecessary risk. Don't force anything or anyone. It is too easy to be overbearing. You can be restless on a physical or desire level. You are likely looking for more fun from life, but you may have a hard time satisfying your urges if you are impatient. Be extra cautious with regard to taking physical risk. Try not to expect so much from yourself that you set yourself up for disappointment. Consciously slow yourself down and tap into an enterprising, bolder, and more confident nature. The gift of this influence, actually. Okay? There's another opposition with Mars and Uranus. It's a challenging aspect, so watch for being too impulsive and prudent right now, as these things can set you back. You can too easily lose the run of yourself, and only if you are predisposed may well act out. Calmness seems to elude you now, okay? It is recommended to take special care during this transit. Activities are interrupted. Your health may not be at its peak, so consider whether you may have been overdoing it physically. If so, make more time for rest and unwinding. Energy levels fluctuate and nervous tension can too often be the norm during this month of the transit. Watch for restlessness. Problems with shared finances, debts, and close relationships can emerge. Outbursts can be a symptom of deeper problems that need your attention. Now, there's a trine with the Moon and Saturn, positive brief aspect. You are able to keep a cool head, making it a favorable few hours to take care of business and practical matters. You are taking responsibility. There's a trine with Venus and Uranus today. Positive short-term aspect. You're craving excitement, or you are surprised by someone on a social or romantic level. You may meet someone new who is very original, pleasant, surprises, a breath of fresh air. You are craving emotional excitement, stimulation, and something new and alive. This is a time for music, dance, and joyful spontaneity. Your social inhibitions loosen, and you may be tempted to have a wild, flirtatious, or to act in a rather carefree way. A good time to enjoy new things or gaining new interest. How about that? There's a trine with Mars and Saturn. Positive short-term aspect. You are very determined and energetic right now, but also patient, and this combination creates successful scenarios. You are feeling strong and able to carry out your plans. You can be hard and unshakable in your decisions. You realize your plans with the willpower to overcome any resistance. There's a trine with Saturn and Saturn. Positive aspect. Everything depends on the position of Saturn in your birth chart, however. Nothing outstanding, extraordinary, or unlucky is likely to happen. Love that. Sometimes this aspect coincides with a time of dead calm. You might be a little more stable and serious at this time. A rather lackluster period time works for you, and you just have to wait for a more energizing transit, although this restful one can be appreciated. There's a square with Pluto and itself. It's a challenging long-term aspect. Experiences now seem to change you, and you're identifying it as a metamorphosing. Or perhaps more likely, circumstances have brought out parts of your personality that you hadn't met before. You may be dealing with ambitious, jealous, and resentment at this time in you or in your environment. Keep that in mind. New healing and regenerations are a result. So now moving to the 14th. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see what we have here on the 14th. This is April, in case you're listening to this reading long from now, right? Because it'll be on YouTube 2024. I'll say that. There's a sextile with Venus. It's short term. Excellent time for your love life. As I stated before, same as the 13th. And that's why I told you guys some of the transits that were the same. I would try not to reiterate, but I may do some. So don't beat me up. But today is another day that could be successful in relationships. Avoid unnecessary risk. Don't force anything or anyone. Challenging aspect. Watch for being too impulsive. Today, this is April 14th, 2024. The trine with Venus and Uranus, you are craving excitement and you are surprised by someone on a social or romantic level. A positive aspect of the moon and Saturn having a trine, that you're able to be cool, keep your head cool. So this is new, coming from the 13th to the 14th. It makes it a favorable time to take care of your business matters. Some of you will experience this on the 13th, but depending on your decan of Pisces and your natal chart, feel free to make adjustments where they fall. Now on the 15th, okay, let's see if we have something extraordinary or different for the days above. And it just warns us again to watch out for the impulse. Try not to force anything. Decent for love life. Amazing for excitement. Challenging thing again was to not go out of proportion or in an excessive manner, because Jupiter is opposing Mars. Okay, that's that not forcing things. And it does talk about being bolder and enterprising, but watching out for overindulgence. On the 16th, what do we have here? Mars is trining its own self. That's pretty good. You're especially energetic and full of get up and go right now. You can feel recharged on energy levels. You are making important decisions with the necessary foresight. No rushing into things. You tend to succeed in whatever you carry out, and at the projects currently at hand, you are optimistic, perhaps unflappable. Your sexual or competitive instinct are aroused. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I stay in the house that day. Okay, let's see something else that maybe differ from the days before. Looks like Jupiter opposition with Mars, the same. Venus, Moon, the same. It talks about pleasant and happy family time. Oh, that's different. Okay, so there's a sextile with the moon. It's at a different degree. So it moves from your love life and social matters into family. Okay, on the 16th, a time when you can get real pleasure from love, pleasures of entertaining friends. It says pleasant and family life. Okay, take this opportunity to express your feelings to people close to you. You are more likely to be received well today than other days. So that's great. Unless there are very difficult current transits in your chart, it's a good time to decorate, beautify, enhance the home, as well as attain some level of harmony in your domestic life. So I do like that. She did a little something for us on the 16th that wasn't there before. Now on the 17th, she's in the same position. However, the opposition with the moon and some other stuff did change. It goes from, what is this? It was at 271 degrees. Now it's at a 278 degree. And if you say, well, what does that mean? Well, let's talk about it. It is a time for real good pleasure. Again, that's Venus in her same position with the moon. Now, the opposition that may have changed a bit were some of the squares with Pluto and Saturn, as well as Mars trining itself, and the opposition with Uranus and Mars. Watch out for being impulsive comes back. It also talks about a time where you can be, out of proportion. So be mindful of that. And in addition to that, energy levels may fluctuate and nervous tension can often be the norm during this transit, like at the beginning of the week. So just be mindful of that. Everything depends on the position of Saturn in your birth chart when it comes to the trine that it has within itself. But I like trining Saturn for myself, for the world, for you. I don't care what the placement is. Thank you. Most of us that are around the same age have the same Pluto and Saturn. So we could be facing the same trine with Saturn, thankfully, with that Scorpio energy for me. And then there's a square with Pluto, but it's also in Scorpio, which again talks about experiencing things now seem to change you, where it talks about you identify with this transformation. We talked about that in your tarot reading too, where Pluto was with the Wheel of Fortune. So just be mindful of the growth that you've obtained, holding on to it, and anything else that resurfaces that seems a little bit hard to let go of or shake, because Pluto is involved, the Wheel of Fortune is involved, and it can be detrimental. I won't lie to you. Now, on the 18th, we have an opposition with the Moon and Mercury. It's a challenging, brief aspect where it talks about communication can be misunderstood, possibly hurt feelings, emotions are affecting decision making, not necessarily in a good way. So just be mindful of that. There's an opposition with Mars and Jupiter, where we talked about it being a good time, but not to go out of proportion. Watch out for the arrogance or the clouded vision. Could it be other people in your chart or in your environment also? Not to throw any sign under the bus, but you did get the King of Swords came up a few times, so just be mindful of that. But I don't think it was for the arrogance. It was more so the irritability and the lack of patience. So just be mindful about the impulses. Be mindful about the energy. When you feel like getting up and go, take advantage of that energy, because it could shift. Now there's a trine with the Sun and Neptune. That's new for the 18th. It's a short-term aspect, a good time to connect with your dreams, spirit, imagination, and idealism. You are clear about your dreams or focused on them, and you are seeking and probably finding some new inspiration today. I love that for you. While the trine is still trining with Saturn and the square is still squaring with Pluto, we move into the 19th. Okay. The trine with the Sun and Neptune is still there for us, as is the trine with Saturn and the square with Pluto. Anything that changes at all or even a little bit would may have something to do with the moon energy. But keeping a cool head should be favorable for my Pisces. Just still watching out for that energy where Jupiter and Mars is doing some things, okay? Because I think Pisces and Mars is still doing some things. And arrogance with passive aggression could lead to some very nasty situations if we don't monitor it. Now, down to the 20th, you know, we are almost getting into Taurus season, so I'm going to do a separate reading for the entering of Taurus season, which I think may be favorable for you, Pisces. So on the 20th, we have a challenge. Mars and Jupiter. Why y'all challenging each other again to a higher degree? And this is where it talks about being moderate and avoid unnecessary risk. Don't force anything or anyone, comes back up. And it talks about being cautious of your urges. The energy up, your confidence up, being straightforward and direct. It also talks about being more engineering, appreciating the rest though. So keep that in mind. Let those experiences change you. Modify yourself and mold yourself into all that great goodness. And that is going to cover the transits for April 14th through the 20th for my Pisces. Check the community board and also the video tab for the updates on you guys' readings. Until next time.